Hello there once again, this is GCL Tutorials. In this video today, I'm talking to you about why we have the 1st July as a Republic Day of Ghana. Now, the question as to how we got here will be shared or answered in this video. We as social studies students and teachers are supposed to educate people or share facts about our political history or Ghana's political development, the event that took place in our governance system or ruling system in the past. So we know some of these things and we know why we are celebrating this as a holiday. Yeah, so I'm going to take you back a bit. You know why we have a Republican state and then we have an independent state. They are two different things. Independence sets you free from your colonial masters, from external control or any superior power that has taken over your administration. So Ghana gained independence on the 6th of March 1957, and we know about that. But how did we become a Republican state? So between 1957 and 1960, Ghana still had a separate head of state, which was the Queen or the Crown, that's Queen Elizabeth II, and then Prime Minister, which was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was made a leader of government business. You know, Nkrumah pressed through. He did a lot of things with his party. When he established the party in 1949, CPP or Convention People's Party, he was able to push further together with some other important personalities. And he, after the positive action, he went to jail, leading that boycott. In 1951, the general election, he won massively in that particular election. Now, moving forward, 1954, Nkrumah introduced his constitution. So we had the Nkrumah's constitution in 1954. Then fast forward, we gained independence through his efforts and some other personalities. Now, when you look at the chronological arrangement or the events, you see that Nkrumah did so many things to be recognized as a prime minister or leader of government business. So as leader of government business, it means that he played an important role in the country, as it was Gold Coast and then later became Ghana. So the power sharing thing was still there. Power sharing simply means that there was division of power, not separation of powers. Separation of powers is a different concept. That has to do with the three arms of government. So you can also check that on my channel. Now, when we talk about the power sharing, from 1957, we had a separate head of state, and then we had a separate head of government. The head of government was Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and the head of state was the Queen. That was the Queen Elizabeth II. So when you look at that particular time or period, sovereignty was not absolute, or the control over our political affairs was in a way being interfered by the whites. Lord Listowel was the Governor General representing the Queen on this particular land. Now, we had to progress from that, okay, so where we can have our own president and have our own constitution, because by then we were using the independence constitution. That was from 1957. Some political official processes will have to be carried out for us to move from or change from that independent status and then to a republican status. So being a republican means that you will not be ruled by a crown or a monarch or a queen. That we know we will have the Queen Elizabeth II as the head of state, but we have to choose our own leader. So Republican simply allows the citizens to select or choose or elect their own leaders, and then they can have a complete or major say in their administration. So it's a concept that started many years ago, 509 BC, during the Romans' domination. So when you look at the Republican status, it means that if we are able to gain that status, we will not be ruled by the queen or be headed by the queen. So it can't just happen like that. The decision had to be taken through a referendum. There came the 27th April 1960 referendum. And April is before the July. So that 1st July that we are celebrating now is actually when the 1960 Constitution officially took effect, or that is when it started operating. So it means that officially the constitution will have to be implemented, and that's where it started working. But the constitution will have to be accepted first. So the citizens were asked to go into an election where they would decide yes or no whether they would want to adopt the constitution, the new constitution, which was the first Republican constitution, or not. And the second decision was also, that's just in that referendum, was also just to decide and choose who leads the country as the head of state and head of government. Around that time, we had a UGCC becoming the United Party, and we still had the CPP as the strongest party by then, or the strongest force. So these political parties went into the election, and after the referendum, the two decisions were taken. Majority voted yes, that they are ready to accept the 1960 constitution, the first Republican constitution. And then in terms of the presidential elections, we had CPP also winning massively in that particular election. So here we have the outcomes of the 27th April 1960 election. Two parties contested. The first table actually shows the yes or no votes that were cast for the acceptance of the new constitution and to change the system, the governance system or system of government from parliamentary system where we had the two separate heads to that monocephalous executive where we have only one head being the head of state and that same person being the head of government. They accepted the constitution. Then you look at the second table actually showing two political parties, the CPP represented by Kwame Nkrumah and the UP represented by JB Dankwa, and 89.1% going for the Convention People's Party. So you can see that's a massive win for Nkrumah. That's Nkrumah being inaugurated or the swearing-in ceremony by the Chief Justice after winning the election massively. From there, he formed his government, his cabinet. In one of my videos, I actually discussed the features of the 1960 Constitution. So Nkrumah's government, what the Constitution provided or the provisions or the items in that particular Constitution. You can check that up on my channel later after watching this video, and you get to know how Nkrumah set up his government in 1960 before his overthrow in 1966. Yeah, so it's simple as that. That's all we are celebrating as a Republic Day or the 1st of July holiday. There's a new act, the act stating clearly that when the holiday falls on a weekday, to be pushed to either Friday or Monday, that it will just come before the weekend or after the weekend. So that will make people enjoy more. You will not be stressed up after a holiday, then you would have to go to work the next day. Yeah. My main objective here is to make you understand why we have the 1st of July as a Republic Day. I believe you enjoyed watching this video. Perhaps it's the first time you've come across any of my videos. If you like the facts I've provided in this video, and if you've come across any other videos that I've put across, you can give me a thumbs up, share and like. Put your comments there in the comment section. Thank you for watching GCL tutorials. I'll see you again. Bye.